All right, guys. So, yes, I am here today to talk with you guys. Today, I'm going to be talking about purpose. Yes, I want to talk about purpose because a lot of us, we are living in a state of just surviving, like, you know what I'm saying? And which is, I won't say it's okay, but it's okay because, that's all we know. Like, we know just to, like, get a job, pay our bills, and, get to it. But purpose brings a whole different aspect to our life, to our perception, and things of that nature. So I want to talk about purpose. Of course, you hear the music in the background, so I'm going to, play it out for a couple seconds, and then we are going to get to it. So. My bad. This is a good song, but yeah. So I want to talk about purpose. So like I was saying, like we are so in tune with just like finding a job and making sure our bills is paid, and then like save up for a trip here and there, and that's our life. And then boom, whatever. I won't go into all that. But no. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am moving out of my purpose. Okay, I am. And my purpose is to motivate, to enlighten, to, shed light, love, and positivity into helping others move in their purpose. You know what I'm saying? A purpose is such a beautiful thing to harness. And when I say a beautiful thing to harness, because you are moving from a place of you. From a place of wholeheartedness and something that drives you. You know what I'm saying? Something that is right to give back to the world. That's what purpose is. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you find that purpose, it gives you a whole sense of a different way of being and a different way of living. Okay? Because when you move out of purpose, that is something that is attached to your soul, and that's just how I can best describe it in my words. It's something that is attached to your soul. Okay? And if you ever, I don't know if you ever experience of, it's that saying called seeing the eyes into your soul, or something like that, something of that nature. I don't mean to mess up the quote, but it's like what that statement is saying is you are living your life through your soul. Your soul is your highest self, and I always talk about your highest self. You know what I'm saying? Because your highest self has no limits. It has no fears. It has no limitation. It has no constraints or anything like that. Your soul wants to live. Okay? Live. And it's us that stops us. So your soul is that thing that pushes you to do other things. You know what I'm saying? It's trying to get you to see your purpose. And once you see your purpose and you start moving out of your purpose, you will begin to live. It's a completely different way of living of what you think is living now. Living now, paying bills, linking up with your peoples, getting lit, taking trips here and there. No, when you start moving out of your purpose, life is living every day, or you are living life every day. There's no incremental happiness. There's no incremental anything, because now you are applying your soulful part in this world, which will ignite your enthusiasm. It will it will set your soul on fire, because this is something that is so compelled. Like, you're so compelled to it it ultimately makes you happy to wake up in the morning. And I know all of us want to have that type of feeling. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we don't have that feeling because we're not fulfilling our purpose. So let's talk about purpose. How is purpose associated with spirituality? So purpose is a sign of your highest self, like I just said. You know what I'm saying? Your highest self is your soul, which is your purpose. Okay, your soul wants to live. It doesn't want to be constrained. It doesn't want to have fears. It doesn't want to have constraints. It doesn't want to be associated with anything that limits it. Okay, so it's attached to your highest self. Once you start, like I said, once you start stepping into it, you will feel so lively. You will feel liberated. It's a liberating feeling. Whereas, you know how something you do, something spontaneous, and it gives you that liberating feeling? Living through your purpose gives you that liberating feeling every day. You wake up wanting to do it. You wake up feeling so blessed. You wake up feeling so fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? Because you're doing your part on what you were supposed to do, what you were created to do. What you were created to do. How can you not want to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just, it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. So purpose is a sign of acceptance and then bringing it to the world, which is true. So your purpose is something that you accepted. And when I say this, I mean as in, we all have a purpose, but we just don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what state a lot of us is in. Like, it's that skill and that capability that we don't even realize that we do or have, and we don't maximize it. We don't put that first in everything that we do. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. It was one of my points lower, but I'm gonna give you an example right now. My purpose was me being positive and pushing people. I've always been that way. Anybody who has known me, anybody who has come in contact with me, I've always been a positive person, always. And I didn't know that was my purpose back then. I didn't know that was my purpose until one of my points where that was the only thing that I had to hold on to get me out my storm. And then that's when it dawned. That's when it clicked. If I had to utilize this to get me out of that storm, and that was the only thing that I could hold on to, I always carried it. That's my purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my purpose. Like, this is my purpose in life. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that. I had it. That was a gift of mine. I've always shared it with other people, but I didn't put it first in myself, and I didn't believe in it. You know, I knew it worked. I always spoke positivity to other people, but I didn't believe in it. And I put my whole life behind it now. That's where the purpose come in at. When you put your life behind it now, that's when you're living through your purpose. And that's what made me start these videos. That's what made me start my Instagram page. I'm putting my life behind it now. This is what I was called to do. Why? Because this was something that it was highlighted to me. In my storm, this was highlighted to me. And that's when I started putting my life behind it. So, in order for you to identify your purpose, you have to separate yourself. Which is true. You can't be in the midst of chaos. You can't be in the midst of everything that you used to do. You have to begin to separate yourself and actualize yourself to realize your purpose. Because if you don't, you just get mixed up in everything that you're into. So you can't really recognize your purpose, let alone maximize it, let alone put your life behind it. You know, in order for you to live through your purpose, you have to start separating. You have to start protecting it. You have to start doing the initiative, taking and being intentional. That's what you have to do. People that are living through their purpose, they are very intentional. Very intentional. And it came to they recognized it when they was in a separation. Me, when I was going through my situation, and at that time I didn't know my purpose. You know what I'm saying? I just knew my characteristics. I knew what I was capable of, but I didn't know my purpose. When God set me aside and I had to go through my storm alone, that's when my purpose came to fruition. That's when my purpose became unveiled to me. This is your purpose. Now you have to utilize it to get you out. Once you utilize it to get you out, you will see the significance of this. You will see the significance of that characteristic, of that capability that you have. And now you will put your life behind it. How is purpose a sign of acceptance? Like I said, purpose is a sign of acceptance because you have to go through a change. You have to go through many different things and ultimately accept it. A lot of the times we're living in a state of we don't really accept ourselves totally. You know what I'm saying? So we begin to alter ourselves, we begin to hide ourselves, we begin to dim our light. And sometimes the light that we have, we feel like it's how should I put this? It isn't the right light because it comes with, how should I put it? It comes with I'm trying to find a word. It's that niche in us that we don't think is good. You know what I'm saying? In all reality, it is. Like in my life, my purpose, a lot of people always say you're so positive. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people see positivity. It can be like a negative positivity. You know what I'm saying? But that's not true. That's not true. And sometimes when you hear certain things of your characteristics, be careful. Be careful. Because it'll implant that disbelief in yourself, and ultimately that's when you live in a state of non-acceptance. You don't really truly accept yourself because you've been criticized from other people of what they feel about of what you carry. Be careful of that. That's why I said you have to separate yourself. Separate yourself from other people so you can harness that. And in the process of developing your purpose and realizing your purpose, you have to gain confidence in it. So, which is even more pertinent to be, segregated from everybody, because you can't gain confidence if you are just harnessing it. That means that you don't have a full grasp on it. So if you're subjected yourself around certain people or just people in general, people aren't so accepting. You have to accept that first. And then that's when you begin to thrive in it. So, acceptance. And, in your personal, your purpose. All right. And then once you accept it, that's when your inner self bring that innate talent and that, that authentic capabilities to surface. And that's why I say it is associated with acceptance, because if you don't accept it, you can't bring that innate talent, that authentic capability to the surface because you're too busy suppressing it. The one thing that makes you different is the main thing that is your purpose. You have to separate yourself.